Good afternoon, everyone. So, what we have discussed in the last lecture, we have seen that what are not an example of a surface. That is, we have seen the example of a cone, right? Cone is not a surface since at the corner point, that is, only one corner point is there on the cone. We cannot find out the neighborhood for that point, which is entirely contained in that. Neighborhood find out करू शकतो, but which is not entirely contained in your uh, x of t. Okay. So these things we have already covered, and about closed disk we have seen, and then what is the last example we have seen?
Folded
Folded.
plane.
Correct. Yes. Any doubt about the last lectures? And after that we have seen the Monge patch also, no? That is, if your function x, that is mapping x from D to E3, whatever we are defining, if it is of the form uv x of uv, and the third is f of uv, that is your third variable is a function of first two, then it is called a Monge patch, right? And after that we have seen the definition of a simple surface. What is a simple surface? If x of d is equals to m, it is a simple surface, right? Yes, any doubt about the last lectures?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now let us go for the next one. That is, we will see what is a shortcut way to find out the given object is a surface or not. Okay, so for that we will check whether dg is equal to 0 or dg is not equal to 0. Correct? Now for that, let me write down the statement of a theorem. Let g be the differentiable function, g be the differentiable real valued function on E3, and let me write down this. Let G be the differentiable real valued function on E3, and let C be the constant. Let C be some constant number, the subset M of E3, the subset M of E3. What is M in this case? It is the object we are going to define, and later on we'll say whether it is a surface or not. Okay. The subset M with the condition xyz, g of xyz is equals to C. C with a constant or some number, then let M be the subset of E3 defined by, we are taking the elements xyz from E3 because we are discussing everything on E3, and the function g is differentiable real valued function, which is given as g of xyz, that is combination of xyz will be equal to some constant. It is a surface if the differential dg is not equal to 0 at any point of a surface M. Is a surface if the differential dg is not equal to 0 at all points of the surface M. Correct? So we can consider this P to be any point on the surface M. For every point P on the surface M, if dg is not equal to 0, it ensures that it is a surface. Okay, subset M of E3 is a subset if dg is not equal to 0. What is the condition given? The construction of a surface is given in such a way that g of xyz is equal to some constant C. क्योंकि आप कोई भी surface define करो, just like we have seen for the last example. Last example we have seen with the help of a definition itself, right? No, क्या होता है definition में? For each point P of a surface M, there exists a proper patch in M whose image contains the neighborhood of a point P. Okay, for each point P, you have to find out the proper patch. Okay, proper patch का meaning क्या होगा? One check करना पड़ेगा, regularity, and then inverse function is continuous. Okay, this all calculations you have to do if you want to check whether given object is a surface or not. ओके, फॉर द लास्ट एग्जाम्पल इट वॉज इजी क्योंकि आपने जो एक्स ऑफ डी फाइंड आउट किया वो इंस्टेड ऑफ वर्किंग फॉर दैट नॉर्थ पोल इट वर्क फॉर अ होल hemisphere, so northern hemisphere. In the very similar way you can find out for the southern hemisphere, right? So which is somewhat a lengthy process. So here we will find out the one shortcut in which dg is not equal to 0 ensures that your surface or we given object is a surface, okay, or vice versa. You can use it as a definition also. Now अगर हमें ये प्रूव करना है कि गिवन ऑब्जेक्ट इज अ सरफेस, फर्स्ट यू शुड गो विद द डेफिनेशन. इज इट ओके? So let us start with the first thing, that what is given to us, dg is not equal to 0. Okay, given that dg is not equal to 0, given that dg is not equal to 0, what is g given to us? G is a sum function of x, y, z which is equal to c. Okay, g of x, y, z is equals to c and dg is not equal to 0. Right, so how to write down dg? Dg is a total derivative. So I can write this as dou g by dx, dx plus dou g by dou y, dy plus dou g by dou z, dz equal to not equal to 0, since given that dg is not equal to 0, right? Now this dg is not equal to 0, it means that all are not equal to 0 simultaneously. What do you mean by
Yes,
dg?
ma'am.
So we are provided that dg is not equal to 0, that means at least one of the partial derivative is non-zero. Okay, instead of assuming that all are non-zero, you can say that at least one of the partial derivative is not equal to 0 at any point on the surface M. Okay, I can say that at least one of the partial derivative, that is at least dou g by dou x or dou g by dou y or dou g by dou z is non-zero at all points of a surface M. बरोबर? So I am supposing that at least one of them is non-zero. So let me suppose that dou g by dou z is not equal to 0. Instead of assuming anything else, now let me assume that the partial derivative dou g by dou z is not equal to 0. Now can anyone tell me what do you mean by dou g by dou z is not equal to 0? For any point P on the whole surface.
Red coordinate in
There
y.
is there is some part of surface in the Z plane.
देयर इज सम पार्ट ऑफ अ सरफेस इन जेड प्लेन. वो तो ऑब्वियस है ना, क्योंकि हम लोग कंसिडर ही कर रहे हैं कि हमारे पास एक सबसेट ऑफ E3 है. सबसेट ऑफ E3 मीन्स इट मे बी इन द एक्स वाई जेड, पूरा कॉम्बिनेशन ही होगा ना. अगर वो सिंपली एक्स वाई में होगा तो हम उसे सबसेट ऑफ E2 बोलेंगे. करेक्ट?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me give you a hint. Implicit function theorem. ओके, अगेन आई विल गिव यू वन मोर हिंट. इम्प्लीसिट एंड एक्सप्लिसिट में क्या फर्क होता है? Explicit means what? I can write down one function in the one variable in the form of another one. Implicit में क्या करते हैं आप? If it is not possible to write down, we find out the Jacobian. बरोबर?
Yes, ma'am.
So in that implicit function theorem, those who don't remember, just go back and check out what is implicit function theorem, why there is need to introduce the Jacobian matrix, why we are finding the Jacobian matrix. Okay, what is the meaning of all those derivatives which we are writing in this matrix? Partial derivative ही लिखते हो ना आप
Yes,
Jacobian
ma'am.
matrix में. Right, so here also we have written one partial derivative, dou g by dou z not equal to 0 on the condition g is a function of three variable. Okay, g of x y z is equals to some constant is given and we are finding that derivative of g with respect to z is non-zero. So by using implicit function theorem, हम डेरिवेटिव फाइंड आउट करते हैं ना. वी आर फाइंडिंग द Jacobian and then we are finding the derivatives and then we say that Jacobian, with the help of Jacobian we are saying the implicit function theorem. Correct. So यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करेंगे, dou g by dou z is not equal to 0. It ensures that which condition. Now at least you can tell. Two hints I have given you: implicit function theorem as well as a Jacobian. Yes, no one remember about implicit function theorem. What is the use of implicit function theorem? Need of a Jacobian matrix. Why there is need to define Jacobian matrix? What is a 3 cross 3 matrix geometric interpretation? 2 cross 2 matrix का geometric interpretation क्या होता है? Determinant का जो for matrix it is not having geometric interpretation. But what do you mean by having a 2 cross 2 determinant? What is geometric interpretation of 2 cross 2 determinant? Yes, anyone heard about this? What is a geometric interpretation of 2 cross 2 determinant? Or is it is not having any geometric interpretation? Okay, what is the determinant actually you are finding? It is equal to some number, no? So I think there should not be any geometric interpretation. बरोबर ना? Numbers find out करतो ना determinant.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, anyone else knowing about the geometric interpretation? Is there any geometric interpretation for 2 cross 2, 3 cross 3? Okay, let me give you one more hint for this one. If you are not knowing, this will be the homework for you people. That what is the geometric interpretation of the 2 cross 2 and 3 cross 3 determinant? And for that, I will give you a hint that you have already done. आपको पता है कि 3 क्रॉस 3 का determinant का वैल्यू के लिए क्या geometric interpretation है. I hope you are knowing about the cross product.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever you are solving the cross product, जब आप cross product का geometric interpretation देखते हो कि अगर कोई 2 or 3 variables, आप cross product कैसे लिखते हो? With the help of 3 rows, ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So आप उस पे concentrate कीजिए या फिर आप directly what is the geometric interpretation of 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 2 check कीजिए. One more thing I will tell you, maybe in the I don't know exactly which book was that. It was by S. Kumresan sir. S. Kumresan sir के books पता है ना सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he is very talented person. एस कुमरेसन सर का कोई भी बुक ले लो. आई थिंक मैंने वो रियल एनालिसिस की बुक में पढ़ा था क्योंकि सर के बहुत सारे बुक्स हैं. एक लीनियर अलजेब्रा का है, मे बी दिस विल बी इन द लीनियर अलजेब्रा और रियल एनालिसिस, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर एग्जैक्टली. सर के रियल एनालिसिस की भी बुक्स है, लीनियर अलजेब्रा का भी है. रिसेंटली ही हैज पब्लिश्ड वन बुक ऑन फंक्शनल एनालिसिस आल्सो एंड वन बुक इज अबाउट द जनरल टोपोलॉजी. टोपोलॉजी मतलब हम जो स्टडी करते वो नहीं है, but the concept which are asked in setnet exam. So related to that, one book is there. So I have studied these four. So I don't know exactly in which book is there. So he has given the complete interpretation of what is 2 cross 2 determinant, 3 cross 2 determinant, what is geometric interpretation of that. So you should go with that. Now let us start with this implicit function theorem. So we are going to use an implicit function theorem to prove the result. तो हम लोग यहाँ क्या कंसिडर करेंगे, as we have going to use the implicit function theorem, since given that g of x y z is equal to some constant c and the derivative of g with respect to z is not equal to 0, it ensures that there exists a differentiable real valued function defined in the neighborhood of a point p1 p2 such that the first condition for that is for each point uv belongs to the D, the point uv h of uv is in the surface. Okay, let me write down the result. What is given with the help of the condition g of x y z equal to constant and derivative of g with respect to z is not equal to 0 for all point p of a surface M. So it ensures that there exists a differentiable function, this differentiable real valued function h. What is a condition on that function? Therefore, there exists a differentiable real valued function defined in the neighborhood D of a p1 p2, defined in the neighborhood defined in the neighborhood of P1, P2, defined in the neighborhood D of a P1, P2, such that the first condition is for each point UV, such that for each point U, V, what is the condition for each point U and V? There exists a point UV h of UV which lies in a surface M. Okay, for each point UV belongs to D, neighborhood D you can consider, neighborhood D of a P1, P2. For each point UV belongs to D, there exists a point UV h of UV which lies on a surface M. Okay, instead of saying surface M, okay, it is given surface, so we can say that there exists a UV h of U lies in a M. That is g of UV h of UV is equals to some constant, right? That is g of, instead of x y z you can write uv, and the third one is h of uv is equals to some constant c. Meaning of this is what, आपका जब partial derivative dou z by derivative of g with respect to z is not equal to 0, it means that you are having this is some function h which is written in the form of function that uv is a points in D, there exists a point uv h of uv which lies in a M. Okay, now let me show you how it works actually. The whatever the set you have, the set of points uv h of uv on the condition uv belongs to D is a neighborhood of a point P in a surface M. Okay, so what we have, the set uv h of uv on the condition uv belongs to D is a set of point which is working as a neighborhood of a point P on a surface, on a M. Okay, now let me show you the figure how it looks like. For each point UV, we should get a point UV h of UV on your surface M. Okay. So suppose this is what your surface M. Okay. So आपका यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा, suppose this is what your xy plane. So if you are having any 2 points, say if I say that I have the 2 points with say coordinates uv, instead of writing this, it's some subset d of e2. Suppose I have a point here with uv. So image will be here somewhere in subset M of E3 with the condition uv and h of uv, since because we found that your dou g by dou z is not equal to 0 on the condition g of xyz is equals to some constant c. Okay, so which ensures that these two conditions, the first condition is what? Yes, for each point, we can find out there exists a differentiable function h defined in the neighborhood d of a point p1, p2, such that for each point uv belongs to d, there exists a point uv h of uv which lies in a surface. So it is very similar to the thing which we have seen earlier, that whenever we were discussing about the example of a sphere where we have considered the point in a xy plane. For every point in the xy plane we can find out the image on the condition that the what is a third coordinate, it is only the z coordinate. Okay, so here also we can find out what is a change, only the instead of z coordinate it is some function which is a function of u and v. For every point u and v in the d, we can find out the image in the M such that it is set of all those points is a neighborhood of that point. Correct? Set of all those collection. This is what set of all the points u, v, h of e is working as a neighborhood of a point P on a surface M. Okay. This function, your x from d to e3 defined by x of uv is equals to uv h of uv is working as a Monge patch, since what is the condition for this is P was our arbitrary point we have chosen for a surface M. अगर हमने arbitrary point के लिए ये find out किया है कि for every arbitrary point P on a surface M, if we are able to find out the condition that for every point P on a D is what? D is a subset of E2. We can find out the image with the condition the set of all those points U, V, H of UV will be working as a neighborhood of a point P. Then for arbitrary point we have proved, so hence we can say that there exists a proper patch in M whose image contains a neighborhood of a point P in M, and hence the proof. Okay, यहाँ पे समझ में आया क्या? Let me draw the image once again. Suppose I have one subset M of E3. So to have a clear idea what we'll do, we'll draw one circle in xy plane and the image is here, and let me join them with the help of straight line. तो क्या होगा यहाँ पे आपका, for every point in your xy plane so this is what D, which is a subset of E2 space. So for every point P with the coordinates say P1, P2, the image will be there in a surface M which is with P1, P2 and P3, and in the another way if you want to write down with the function, so UV H of UV, for every point UV in our D which is a subset of E2, I can find out the set of points. What are the set of points? UV H of UV, the set of all those points will be working as a neighborhood of a point P. So hence we can say that as we have proved this for a single point P on a surface M, which was arbitrary point, so we can generalize the concept that for every point P of a surface M, there exists a proper patch in M whose image contains the neighborhood of a point P. Okay, whose image contains the neighborhood of a point P. That is, n of P is contained in x of D, and hence the result. Okay, ये सब true क्यों हो गया? ये because of this one, no? This set will be working as a neighborhood, the set of all points u v h of u v. क्योंकि यहाँ पे चेंज क्या होगा ये सेट्स में, ये वाले u और v तो एज इट इज कैरी हो जाएंगे, करेक्ट. व्हाट इज द चेंज? ओनली द चेंज इज इन द z कोऑर्डिनेट. और ये वाला हमें कहाँ से मिल गया? dou g by dou z is not equal to 0. With the help of that, we have found a function h with the implicit function theorem we are using. So u and v will be carried out as it is, क्योंकि आप अगर surface में जा रहे हो तो आपके u और v as it is carry हो जाएंगे x and y. What is the change? Only the change is in the z variable. So set of all those points will be working as a neighborhood, and this we have found with the help of a condition that dg is not equal to 0. So hence dou g by dou z is non-zero. Hence we found h and hence the result, and we proved the definition. Prove झाली ना definition. For every point P, हे arbitrary point होता ना P. P was arbitrary point, and we have proved the result for arbitrary point that for every point P on a surface M, for every point P on a surface M, there exists a proper patch in M whose image contains the neighborhood of a point P in M. Okay? Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
So hence, instead of using that complete definition for every point P, you have to go and then find out the neighborhood, then check whether that neighborhood is contained in x of D. It is not necessary. Simply check that dg is equal to 0 or non-zero, and you can say that whether it is a surface or not. dg is, अगर आपका dg सभी point पे non-zero है, but if it is 0 at origin, 0 0 0 पे, अगर वो origin पे 0 है, so hence you can say that it is not a surface. बरोबर? So now let us go with the example. Okay, ये थ्योरम तो बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है ना. सिंपली आपको क्या चेक करना है? डीजी फाइंड आउट करना है. डीजी तो हम लोग ऑलरेडी फाइंड कर सकते हैं. That is partial derivative. We have to do the same thing for our examples. Okay. Now let us go with the one example based on this dg not equal to 0. Okay, what we'll do, we'll take again the say example of a sphere only. Instead of taking that center at origin and radius r, we'll take one example of a sphere with the condition that x minus c1 square plus y minus c2 square plus z minus c3 square is equal to some r square. Right? We have the example that we have to take for the example of a sphere in which what is this xyz? These are the point in a E3 space. Right? Now we have to first find out what is a function g. Okay, how to define a function g. Then after that we have to find out a dg. Right? So mostly in the differential geometry paper we are denoting the sphere by this notation summation. So it is written that x minus c1 square plus y minus c2 square plus z minus c3 square is equals to r square on the condition your x, y, z are the elements from your E3 space. Now I can define g. Function पाहिजे ना आपल्याला. Okay, just like the theorem we have proved. G should be some function of x, y, z. बरोबर? M is a subset of E3 such that g of x, y, z is equal to some constant. बरोबर? So in that way, we have to find out this as this surface is g is equals to r square. Some function of x, y, z आहे का? X, y, z all are involved. So it is some function of x, y, z, and I have written it as g is equal to r square. Now let us find out dg. So what is dg? Dou g by dou x dx plus dou g by dou y dy plus dou g by dou z dz. Correct? Now what is the derivative of g with respect to x? Now what is g? We have defined it is x minus c1 square plus next is y minus c2 square plus z minus c3x square. What is the derivative? समजते हैं ना सगळ्यांना?
2x minus c1.
Okay. 2x minus c1. Derivative of x minus c1 is 1. Okay. Plus next is 2 times y minus c2 dy plus next is 2 times z minus c3 dz. Okay, dg. Now we want to check whether it is equal to 0 or non-zero. Okay, we know that a sphere is an example of a surface. Already we have proved for the sphere. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करेंगे, इंस्टेड ऑफ प्रूविंग dg इज नॉट इक्वल टू जीरो फॉर ऑल पॉइंट, आपको हर एक पॉइंट पे चेक करना पड़ेगा कि dg इज इक्वल टू जीरो और नॉन जीरो फॉर एवरी पॉइंट. ओके, सो उसके क्योंकि आपको कंडीशन क्या दिया है यहाँ पे एक्स वाई जेड बिलोंग्स टू E3, whether you are going to check for every point of E3 कि whether it is true. So what we will do
Simply check origin.
हाँ, so simply we can say dg equal to 0 आहे का हे चेक करूया. Okay, if we get dg is equal to 0 for at least one point, it ensures that this is not a surface. Okay, instead of taking dg is non-zero, what we will consider whether dg equal to 0 कधी होणार आहे हे चेक करूया. Correct? So
Yes, ma'am.
how to check the dg is equal to 0? So ये वाला पूरा टर्म equal to 0 कब हो जाएगा, ये पूरा इक्वेशन. Okay, let me eliminate 2. So I can write this as x minus c1 dx plus y minus c2 dy plus z minus c3 dz इक्वल टू dg. हे पूरा टर्म इक्वल टू 0 कभी हो जाएगा, जब आपके ये पूरे वेरिएबल्स जो है x minus c1 x y minus c2 and z minus c3 all equal to 0. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
सो पूरा dg इक्वल टू 0 कभी होगा, जब आपके कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ dx dy dz all are 0 simultaneously. So I can say that x minus c1 equal to 0, y minus c2 equal to 0 and z minus c3 equal to 0. It ensures that x is equal to c1, y is a c2 and z is a c3. इसका मीनिंग क्या होगा, आपका dg जो वैल्यू है dg इक्वल टू 0 कब है, dg is equal to 0 only at the point xyz is equals to c1 c2 and c3. But what is c1 c2 c3? Can you see the equation? ये वाला equation देख के आपको क्या पता चलता है, it is the equation of a sphere with center at c1
Center at c1, c2, c3 and radius r.
radius is r. So center is at c1 c2 c3 and radius is r. तो इसका मीनिंग क्या है कि dg इक्वल टू 0 कब होगा, सेंटर पे ही. Okay, now let us check. Directly you cannot say now कि this is not an example of a surface. पहले आप चेक करो कि ये पॉइंट आपके सरफेस पे है या नहीं, सेंटर है ना. So let me check what will happen for this point. If I put it in our equation, x minus c1 square plus y minus c2 square plus z minus c3 square is equals to r square, है ना. So if I put here c1 minus c2 0 0 plus 0 is equal to r square, which is not possible. 0 equal to r square possible आहे का? No. So dg is equal to 0 only at the point origin. बरोबर?
Yes, ma'am.
Say that the which is this is what xyz is equal to c1 c2 c3 is the center of the sphere, and hence dg is not equal to 0 for any point on the sphere, not in the center of the sphere. So hence by the theorem which we have seen just now, we can say that this is an example of a surface. Okay. So no need to check for all point. Check क्या करना है आपको, dg first find out करो. Okay, first find out the dg, right? After finding a dg, equate it to 0. Equate to 0 कभी होगा वो, when all the coefficients of dx dy dz are 0 simultaneously. और check करो कि whether that corresponding points belong to your given object m. Okay, if it belongs to the given object m, then you can say that this is not a surface. But here it is not a point on the surface, it is on the center of the sphere, and hence you can say that it is example of a surface. समजते सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, as I told you initially that up to now in the whole mathematics we haven't defined what is the surface, what is the cylinder, what is the sphere. Okay, क्योंकि अभी तक हमें पता नहीं था का डेफिनेशन सरफेस का क्या होगा, क्योंकि हम लोग अभी सोचते थे कि कौन इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अ 3D ऑब्जेक्ट और अ सरफेस. So it is not a surface, it is only a 3D object. It is सबसे टाइम ऑफ E3, but it is not a सरफेस, क्योंकि आपका जो कॉर्नर पॉइंट है वहां पे आपको नेबरहुड नहीं मिलेगा, राइट. बट आई डोंट नो व्हाई दे हैव डिफाइंड द डेफिनेशन लाइक दिस. ये कंडीशन क्या है कि स्मूथनेस होना चाहिए और देयर शुड नॉट बी कटिंग ऑफ द प्लेन, राइट. वन ensures there is no cutting, and secondly the regularity ensures that there is no uh, peak points. We can say smoothness is there. Okay, I also don't know why they have defined the definition of surface like this only. ओके क्योंकि हम लोग अभी तक कंसिडर क्या कर रहे थे कि कोन एंड फोल्डेड प्लेन, एनी ऑब्जेक्ट इन ई थ्री इज एग्जाम्पल ऑफ अ surface, but here it is not an example of a surface, right. Now, as I told you initially in the introduction of our third unit, we are going to define the cylinder also. Okay, in the cylinder, in the differential geometry, the definition of cylinder is something different. Now, here we are going to find out first definition of cylinder, and then we'll show that whether it is a example of a surface or not. Okay, so let us start with that. Show that the cylinder in E3 are the surfaces. Atharva, you should keep yourself on a mute. It is disturbing. Show that the cylinders in E3 are the surfaces. Okay, so first we'll see how to find out the cylinder. Okay, as a line perpendicular to plane P moves on a curve C, it sweeps out a surface is called a cylinder. Okay, first हमें क्या find out करना है? Show that the cylinder is an example of a sphere, as example of a surface. Show that cylinder is example of a surface. Okay, no need to go with the definition. For every point P, find out the neighborhood and check whether that neighborhood is contained in proper patch. Check the condition of proper patch, whether it is 1 1 regular and inverse function is continuous. क्या करना है आपको? By the theorem. Okay, whether dg is equal to 0 or whether dg is not equal to 0. Okay, instead of checking dg is not equal to 0, you check it whether at which point dg is equal to 0, or after checking वो पॉइंट वेदर आपका जो डोमेन प्रोवाइड किया है वहां पे है क्या वो पॉइंट, वो चेक करो, राइट. Now show that the cylinder is an example of a surface. Okay, first let me define what is the cylinder in differential geometry. Okay, as I told you just now that how to find out a cylinder in differential geometry is, what you have to do, you have a curve in xy plane, or rather you can consider this in any plane. No need to consider in xy, you can consider in xz or yz plane. You can consider any plane, curve in that plane. Okay, instead of assuming any arbitrary, we will consider, let us assume that I have a curve in xy plane, and what you have to do, take a straight line on this curve. Okay, take a straight line on this curve. Okay, now what you have to do for this straight line, sweep out this straight line. What you have to do, sweep out this straight line on this curve. Okay, ये straight line को आपके curve पे घुमाना है ऐसे, just sweep out, and then whatever the object you are going to create is nothing but the cylinder in differential geometry. Okay, suppose I have one curve and suppose this is what a straight line, and I have to move this straight line on a this curve which is in any plane. As suppose it is in xz plane and here is y, you can consider in xy plane, and then consider the straight line, move it on a this, and whatever the thing you are getting here, it is called a cylinder in differential geometry. क्योंकि अगर हम जो ऑलरेडी कंसिडर करते हैं सिलेंडर अब तक, सो अगर हम वो कंसिडर करेंगे तो एट दिस कॉर्नर पॉइंट यू कैन नॉट से दैट इट इज गोइंग टू सेटिस्फाई द कंडीशन ऑफ नेबरहुड, क्योंकि ये भी एक सिलेंडर जो है आपका एग्जाम्पल ऑफ डिस्क ही है ना, थोड़ा सा बड़ा है डिस्क की जगह, डिस्क इज वेरी स्मॉल सिलेंडर, इसका विड्थ छोटा होता है. Okay, so we can say that it's instead of a closed disk is not an example of a surface. So here this cylinder is not example of a surface, but that's why maybe in the differential geometry they have defined a cylinder in a such a way that you have to find out one curve in any plane, put a straight line on that curve and move that straight line on this curve, and whatever the object you are going to create is the example of a cylinder. Now what is our aim to find out whether it is a surface or not? Okay, you have to check whether whatever the definition is given in differential geometry, it is a example of a surface or not. First you should find out what is actually function is defined, क्योंकि आपका जो सिलेंडर है उसको आपको पहले डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा, राइट? As we told you that we are having the curve in xy plane, and L is the line which is perpendicular and which is the working as a z axis, and then we are going to move in on a xy plane. So I can consider this to be the curve in xy plane is given by f of xyz, f of xy is equal to some constant c. Consider that f of xy is equal to some constant c. We have this curve in xy plane. Now you have to put a straight line on a curve and then स्वीप आउट. आपको वो जो स्ट्रेट लाइन है आपका वो आपके कर्व पे घुमाना है, और जो जो भी ऑब्जेक्ट मिलेगा वो आपको कंसिडर करना है कि वो आपका सिलेंडर है. ओके, नाउ वन में हैव अ क्वेश्चन दैट कि आप अगर ऐसे कर रहे हो तो इट इज ओके, राइट, दिस इज ओके. अगर आप ये करोगे कि आपका जो एक्स वाई प्लेन है, सपोज आई हैव कंसिडर्ड वन कर्व विच इज अ सर्कल इन एक्स वाई प्लेन. सो अगर मैंने स्ट्रेट लाइन यहाँ पे पुटअप किया और इसको घुमाया तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा? फिर से वही सिलेंडर जो हम अब तक कंसिडर कर रहे थे. So this is not the example of a cylinder. Okay, why this is so, later on we will discuss after the example proving this to be a surface. Okay, क्योंकि आपका कुछ लोगों का डाउट होगा कि this circle is also one curve in xy plane. So अगर हम उस कर्व पे स्ट्रेट लाइन को घुमाते हैं तो आपको क्या मिलेगा? सिलेंडर, बरोबर ना? इमेजिन
ma'am.
ये सभी चीजें मैं आपको 2D प्लेन पे दिखा रही हूँ, बट यू हैव टू इमेजिन दैट दिस विल लुक लाइक दिस. ओके, सो जस्ट इमेजिन दैट you have a curve in xy plane c with f of xy is equal to some constant c. Then we can define a function in such a way that say f, instead of defining a function f, let me define some another function, say g of p1 p2 p3 will be equal to f of p1 p2, or let me define it as capital F, f of p1 p2 p3 will be equal to f of p1 p2, correct? Why this is so? Because we can see that capital F is a function on E3 which is defined by f of P1 P2 P3 is equals to simply P1 P2. क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी आप कंसिडर करोगे तो क्या मिलेगा आपको? आपके इनिशियल जो पॉइंट्स है एक्स वाई प्लेन पे वो एज इट इज कैरी हो जाएंगे। चेंज क्या होगा, आपका जो वर्टिकल लाइन आपने कंसिडर किया था, बरोबर, वट एवर वर्टिकल लाइन यू हैव कंसिडर्ड दैट इज ओनली द चेंज, बरोबर ना। तो जो वर्टिकल लाइन है आपका वो जेड एक्सिस होगा या वाई एक्सिस, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर सिचुएशन, क्योंकि अगर वो जेड एक्सिस है तो इट इज ओके। इस एग्जांपल में हम लोग क्या कंसिडर कर रहे हैं कि आपका एक्स वाई प्लेन है और जेड कोऑर्डिनेट वो वर्टिकल लाइन है जिससे आप आपके कर्व पे स्वीप करने वाले, राइट। सो कैपिटल एफ इज अ फंक्शन ऑन E3, एफ ऑफ P1 P2 P3 इज इक्वल टू सिंपली P1 P2। सो चेंज कहाँ पे होगा, ओनली the change is in the z coordinate. So you can say f is a function defined on E3 and f is a function which is here, which is in xy plane. So what is the change? Only the change is in the z coordinate, which is obtained with the help of your this straight line which we have formed. जो straight line को आप curve पे sweep करने वाले, right? Yes, is the idea clear up to this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can define the surface now, क्योंकि अभी इजीली डिफाइन कर सकते हो ना, क्योंकि आपको अगर एफ फंक्शन डिफाइन करने के लिए पॉसिबल है तो हम लोग सरफेस डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, राइट। एम विद द कंडीशन वी कैन से एफ ऑफ एक्स वाई जेड इज इक्वल टू सम कांस्टेंट सी आई कैन डिफाइन, राइट। क्योंकि आपका एफ ऑफ एक्स वाई इज इक्वल टू सम कांस्टेंट सी, नो, आपका कर्व हमने डिफाइन किया, तो यहाँ पे चेंज क्या है, सिर्फ आपका z वेरिएबल में चेंज है, राइट। सो आई कैन डिफाइन दिस विद द हेल्प ऑफ m इज f of x y z is equal to some constant c, right। now you have to check whether it is a surface or not। so ये चेक करने के लिए आपको क्या चेक करने पड़ेगा, df, right। df is derivative of capital F with respect to x, right, dx plus derivative of capital F with respect to y dy, capital F derivative with respect to z dz। now my question is what about this derivative f with respect to x, f with respect to y, क्योंकि आपके x y as it is कैरी हो गए ना, P1 P2 as it is carry झाले तिथे, so change काय कुठे, फक्त z coordinate। so we are not knowing about z, we are knowing about a xy plane। xy plane मध्ये काय आहे आपल्याला माहिती आहे, कर्व पण माहिती आहे, f of xy equal to some constant c, right। so we are knowing a curve, so can I say that whatever the partial derivative of these two, can I replace them as small f? Is it correct? काय चेंज झाला कळालं का सगळ्यांना, कैपिटल एफ
Yes,
आई
ma'am.
हैव चेंज इट विथ स्मॉल एफ, क्योंकि चेंज कुछ भी नहीं है यहाँ पे। अगर आप एक्स वाई प्लेन कंसिडर कर रहे हो, कैपिटल एफ इज अ फंक्शन ऑन E3, so P1 P2 carried out as it is, so that's why I have written the derivative of capital F with respect to x is equal to derivative of small f with respect to x। so given that what is given to us that अब हम ये लोग कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे, वी आर नॉट बॉदरिंग अबाउट दैट, क्योंकि हमें पता ही नहीं है कि z वेरिएबल क्या है और आपका स्ट्रेट लाइन कैसे वर्क करेगा, राइट। नाउ अगर हमें फाइंड आउट करना है कि वेदर इट इज अ एग्जांपल ऑफ अ सरफेस और नॉट, आई हैव टू चेक वेदर df इज इक्वल टू 0। ये this will be equal to 0 if these two are equal to 0 simultaneously। so dou f by dou x will be equal to 0 as well as dou f by dou y equal to 0 simultaneously। but whether it is possible that dou f by dou x and dou f by dou y will be equal to 0 simultaneously, क्योंकि हमने दिया क्या है यहाँ पे f of x y is equal to c is a curve, इनिशियली हमने डिफाइन किया है ना, ये एक कर्व है। अगर ये कर्व है तो अगर मैं इसका पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू x इक्वल टू 0 कंसिडर करूंगी तो फंक्शन कांस्टेंट हो जाएगा ना, इट इज नॉट अ कर्व, इट इज सिंपली अ कांस्टेंट लाइन। गेटिंग मी?
Yes, ma'am.
क्योंकि अगर आप कंसिडर कर रहे हो स्मॉल एफ टू बी अ वन कर्व, कर्व का अगर कर्व को आप फंक्शन के फॉर्मेट में लिख रहे हो, जस्ट लाइक वी आर हैविंग एनी कर्व इन एक्स वाई प्लेन, सो अगर हम उसको कर्व बोल रहे हैं तो आपको पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव इक्वल टू 0 साइमल्टेनियसली यू कैन नॉट से, क्योंकि डी एफ इक्वल टू 0 कब होगा, जब all the partial derivative will be equal to 0 simultaneously, which is not possible, क्योंकि आपका assumption ये है कि आपके पास curve है f of x y equal to c. If you are saying that the partial derivative equal to 0 simultaneously, you can say that this is not a curve, this is simply a constant line. बरोबर? So what we can say, dou f by dou x and dou f by dou y. Rather you can say derivative of small f with respect to x and y are not equal to 0 simultaneously. Since अगर दोनों simultaneously equal to 0 होंगे तो वो curve नहीं एक straight line होगा, and hence we can say that our assumption was wrong, or we can say that df will not be equal to 0. And df is not equal to 0, which means that your f, that is the object you have defined m with f of xyz is equal to c, this one is a surface, and hence the proof. Okay, इज आइडिया क्लियर? कुछ भी नहीं किया है हमने यहाँ पे, एक जो एक्स वाई प्लेन में था उसको सिर्फ जेड कोऑर्डिनेट से चेंज किया है, और जो भी पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव हो वो कैपिटल एफ का स्मॉल एफ में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा, और ये जो डी एफ है वो इक्वल टू जीरो कब होगा, जब आपके पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव इक्वल टू जीरो साइमल्टेनियसली. बट वी कैन नॉट से दैट ऑल आर इक्वल टू जीरो साइमल्टेनियसली सिंस योर एफ इज अ वन कर्व. अगर वो इक्वल टू जीरो होंगे साइमल्टेनियसली, सो विल गेट वन. Yes, up to which point I have told you? कुठेपर्यंत झाला होता? प्रूव्ह केलं का example?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, you can name the link.